finally, and yesterday we got an apology from UEFA. We discussed at length, didn't we, last week about the trouble, the disturbances outside the Champions League final around Paris. And we've seen politics at work this week, really, a sinister side of politics. Straight away, the knee-jerk reaction started from the French government. They blamed the supporters for turning up late. Well, that was debunked because in the social media era, you can't lie like that anymore because the fans were there from 5 o'clock, 4 hours before kickoff. There was a tube strike, so predictably in France, I guess, so the Liverpool fans were funneled into a certain tube station or metro station where they met local youths, local gangs. Now, this is the problem. This is the political issue here because it's the gangs around that area of Saint-Denis, which is a suburb of northern France, about 9 kilometres north of the centre, north of Gare du Nord. It's long been a problem there, Anne. It's 25 years ago that stadium was built for the World Cup in 1998. France went on to win it, of course, the Football World Cup. It was a rainbow celebration because it was meant to bring France together and unify everybody, and most of the players weren't even born in France. I mean, Liz Razou was born in Spain, Desailly was born in Ghana, Zinedine Zidane, of course, Algeria, Djokovic, Armenia. So it was a multicultural celebration. But the problem is that the way they arrange their social housing and their demographics, and they just push anybody who's deprived out to the outer zones of Paris. And if you build a big stadium there to try and improve things, well, you have the responsibility to envelop the community into what's going on. You can't just have this jamboree going on every few years. Of course, you've got Olympics there in 2 years' time, and that's really the reason why they're saying they're downplaying all this problem around it and kicking downwards towards the English fans, because they don't want to alarm everybody and think, well, if everyone's going there for the Olympics, they're going to get attacked, because there were rumours of well, no, more than rumours, there's evidence of muggings, even a sexual assault that took place outside the ground on Liverpool fans. So that's why the French government very quickly decided to blame the English fans. But in the social media era, with pictures and videos, it's not as easy.
You can't deny the pictures. They were ramming people behind bars and still tear-gassing them.
Tear gas, yeah, there was pepper spray as well. We can see the pictures there. I mean, it's just chaos there. I mean, it's a heavy-handed response from the police. I guess from the police's perspective, they have been managing a hooligan problem in France all year. I mean, there have been flashpoints in Lyon, Marseille, and also in Saint-Etienne.
But if you set out sorry, I was going to say, if you start by treating football fans as hooligans, they become hooligans because they're very angry.
Don't get me wrong, Anne, but everyone has their problems, OK? We had the problems at the Euro 2020 final, which, of course, was played in 2021. We saw fans who, in the post-lockdown period, were gate-crashing the final, and they knew there were empty seats inside. I'd like to think, though, on reflection, that our government and our police force and even our media and our football authorities owned the problem. In fact, England are being punished in a week after next when they play Italy at Molineux in Wolverhampton, because there were going to be no crowds there. Now, UEFA are also under fire because, despite that apology yesterday, which was about a week late, England were under the impression tonight they were playing in Hungary, in Budapest, in front of no crowds because there was racial abuse directed against England in Budapest last September. There's going to be 30,000 people in there because the Hungarian FA have invoked Article 73 of the UEFA statute book, which says that you can have a crowd in there in the absence of the adult fans as long as they're children and they're accompanied by an adult. So it'll be 30,000. So the punishment was that England would go away to a hostile environment tonight, but with no crowd, they'd have an advantage of it. That's the punishment. But even with 30,000 kids in there making a noise, it's not an ideal situation.
But apologies. I'm sorry, Stephen. I keep cutting across you. You go.
No. I was just going to say the apology is sort of apologised to Liverpool and Real Madrid fans. Well, this was aimed at Liverpool.
It was, but there were problems. Real Madrid reported problems afterwards as well. So the problems were the local youths causing problems around the circumference of the stadium, and that's where the police's ire and that's where their resources should have been directed towards. Now, obviously, you can't solve the problem of enveloping a whole social community into a footballing event overnight. That should have been done over a period of years. But if we're talking about the actual incident on the evening, as I say, with everything that the French government and the Interior Ministry and the Sports Ministry said was debunked very quickly, because in the social media era, you cannot get away with that. Interestingly, I have a friend in Switzerland who works for Agence France Presse, who I used to work for about 20 years ago in London, French Newswire, and he covers the media, obviously, in Paris. He's got his ear to the ground there. He's got a lot of colleagues. It's interesting that the media there just called them out straight away, the French government. Macron's quite in a good position at the moment. He recently won his election, but immediately the media was saying, this isn't Liverpool fans. We all know what goes on in Saint-Denis. You're just relying on the wider European network, not knowing the problems and not really having their ears to the ground in terms of parochial matters. So it hasn't worked, this strategy. It's really backfired, but it's all about protecting France's reputation locally in the eyes of the Olympic community. It's only 2 years away, of course.